Well, Chunty.
Yeah, look, it's me, clearly. Back for another Chuntcast. It's been a while. I've had quite a few things going on and distractions in life. So it's been a couple of weeks. But Let's Talk Games is still going. You can catch me over there. There's a link in the description. I'll just drop it now. We've had a heated discussion, not really heated, but colourful discussion on the recent PlayStation news for PS5 and that. So that's now live as you watch this, or as I'm recording it. And here's the coffee slurp that everybody loves. Straight off the bat, well, thank you for your time. Thank you for coming here and watching this guy do another Chuntcast and his videos or whatever. I do appreciate it. Time is valuable, and the fact that you spend it any moment or any amount of seconds or minutes here, I do appreciate it. So thank you very much for that. I hope you are well in these times. And now that I've finished kissing your ass, you can kiss mine by, sharing my videos and subscribing to the channel and stuff. I've uploaded a couple of videos this weekend, actually. One is my kind of first initial reactions on Mario 3D All-Stars. Whoop, you can't see it because of the lights. Yep. So I played that on stream the other night on Twitch, and dropping that Twitch, Uncle Chunt. You can find me there too, where I played Mario 64 for a couple of hours and failed like all the time. But it was a lot of fun. So I gave my take on that. I don't really have much else to say on Sunshine or Galaxy yet. I've played Galaxy, I haven't played Sunshine, but I'll be going through those as I finish Mario 64. So I've got some highlights on there, and at the end of that video, my thoughts on Mario 64 and just the package overall. And I did a speed drawing as well on stream the other night of Mario. Just a random Mario drawing, no real theme to it. I didn't even really start with Mario in mind, but that's just how it came out. So that's up there too, if you want to go check that out. So yeah, I'm not going to waste too much time on talking about PlayStation stuff, because clearly I'm wearing an Xbox hat with two Xbox lights behind me. So if you weren't aware already, I do have a biased opinion. That's basically it. Like, I am more of a Xbox gamer. I have been since 2001 or 2002, whenever I actually had the money to pick one up, and I just haven't looked back ever since. So take whatever my opinions are as an outsider. Like, I've got no dog in the fight for PlayStation, so I do my opinions on what they do are even more critical, particularly for those of us in the Xbox community. Have been copying it constantly for the last 4 or 5 years. It's nice to see them eating some humble pie. Not gonna lie, it's pretty good. Not that I like to see anybody fail, but I'm welcoming this. I'm reveling in it, probably a bit more than I should be lately. So yeah, just to get the Sony stuff out of the way, now that I've said that, you can get more of my thoughts on overall on the PlayStation stuff that's come out recently over at Let's Talk Games. Again, link in the description. But yeah, look, I just have one thing to say just in regards to it's Xbox related. So we'll click on straight into this first article. This isn't what I wanted to talk about straight up, but we'll start there anyway. So Jim Ryan, he's the head guy at Sony now, or at least the PlayStation division, from my understandings. So he's now saying that they actually did consider a lower spec PlayStation 5, but decided it would be too problematic, which I call bullshit on. I really do, straight up. This is just a tactic to say, to downplay the Series S and its value, because the Series S is now the most affordable Xbox and next-gen gaming console, right? It's the most affordable and still maintains the performance of next-gen abilities of that Series X has, right? So Sony doesn't have anything to match that. They've got the PS5 and then just a discless PS5 for $100 less, which is still $100 more expensive than the Series S. So seeing this come out with these quotes, you just know it's a tactic to downplay the Series S, as I just said. So, and he says the Series S style consoles have not had any great results in the past, which confuses me straight away because there's never been anything like this before. So, like I just said, considered a lower spec, but for you to be quickly become obsolete. And I totally disagree with that, depending on how you build the thing. So, the Series X, for people that don't know or are uninitiated, Xbox next gen offerings, there's two consoles off the bat, much like PlayStation. You've got the Series S, which is basically a Series X, but downscaled to just be a 1080p, 1440p kind of output console. Doesn't need all the extra horsepower for the 4K assets and content and rendering and all that stuff. So, you know, they've managed to get it down. Its functionally, that's what I'm looking for, the same. Just really bare bones explaining it for the layman's person here. It will do everything that the Series X will do. It'll do everything the Series X will do, basically, except it's not targeting that top tier resolution and output, right? It will still upscale to 4K and stuff. It just won't output natively like the Series X will. Otherwise, all your games will look the same. They'll be just as fast, blah, blah, blah. So that's why it's so cheap, and they've managed to put that out as a very affordable offer. So what he's saying here is that consoles like that haven't performed well in the past. Like, he starts off by kissing him and then kicking him. So he says, the first thing I would like to say is that I respect every competitor's decision and their philosophies. Clearly, price is an important factor, 100% is, and we respect blah, 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 marketing, PR. However, we're fully committed and believe in our own current strategy. Of course you do. One thing that can be said is if you look at the history of the games business, creating a special low-price reduced spec console is something that has not had great results in the past. Nintendo would like to say hello to you, Jim Ryan. The Wii was at one point the highest selling console, or at least the fastest selling console of all time. Well over 100 million units. And that was weaker hand over fist compared to, the 360 and the PS3. That thing outsold them. Like, how can you say that? Looking back at the history right there. And now you've got the Nintendo Switch, which is not even anywhere near Xbox One and PS4. Particularly now, Series X and PS5, and the Switch is still outselling everything. So how can you sit there as the head of a games company or a games partition of Sony and say, yeah, we've looked at stuff and it's not been good in the past? Absolute bullshit. Like, you just... you'll know more of what this guy is on about in the Let's Talk Games podcast if you go have a look, where the three of us discuss a lot of the announcements and reveals since the recent PS5 pre-order bungle and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I don't believe him at all. Everything that he's saying, all these quotes that he's been putting out, absolute horseshit. And this is just another one. And I'm only bringing it out because he's mentioning Xbox, and I'm more of an Xbox-centric person here. So, he goes on about 4K TVs and how people are, forward-thinking or trying to future-proof themselves, blah, blah, blah. But, I understand the logic, but times are totally different now. The world that we're going into, a lot of people aren't going to have the same amount of, expendable income and disposable income and just money flying around in general to be spending on gaming, which is a luxury hobby. Let's not downplay that at all. Like, it's expensive. Gaming is ridiculously expensive, and it's not for everybody. There's a reason why there's a used games market, and there's a reason why people like me, I picked up a PS4 in April, and I sold it a few months later because I barely used it. So, but there's still people on Twitter that you see going, yeah, it was my birthday, I finally got a PS4, or I finally got an Xbox, this year, right at the end of the generation, so it does happen. And myself, I have a 1080p projector in my lounge room that I watch movies and game on, besides this 4K monitor for my PC. I intend to maybe hook up my Series X to this now and then if I'm going to stream something or whatever, but otherwise it's going to be out in my lounge room. And you say, Chunt, why are you getting a Series X if your 4K, if you have no 4K offer in your lounge room? Well, one day I will. So where he's saying there about future-proofing, I understand that, because I'm getting the Series X on the personal assumption that one day I may afford a 4K projector, laser projector. I want one of those. That's the game plan eventually. So I'll be getting the Series X. But there's a lot of other people out there that haven't got anything like that. They've just got a 1080p screen, like cheap off, Kogan or Amazon or whatever. Like they've picked up a secondhand TV from someone, and it's still only 1080p. People getting rid of, their old TVs to get the 4K stuff and reselling them on, or picking up really cheap sales for TVs, or people only bought a TV in the last few years and it's not 4K, So there's a lot of people out there that just don't give a stuff about 4K. Like it's really, unless you're the hardest of the hardcore, for visual audio and gaming and stuff, you're not really going to care or notice too much, right? Those of us that know and what it, can see it and understand it, like, if we want that, if we can afford it, we'll get it. But he's totally out of touch here. Very much totally out of touch. Like, the reason why the Series S exists is purely based on data, right? They wouldn't have made it if there was no audience for it. So they use their data and their test areas or whatever they do to get the understanding that there's an option here that people want to cater to a little niche in the market. And I think that niche is bigger than most people in the games industry seem to think it is. Like you get all these people that are stuck in their little gaming bubbles thinking that they know everything, but they don't. They're so out of touch. Like these people at IGN and GameSpot and stuff that are, saying all these things, like patting themselves in the back and, proper like right up themselves of like stuck in their bubble thinking they know all. But the real people out there, the real people that are struggling, that are out of the games media, who aren't earning a lot of money, the Series S is going to be highly appealing. And $100 is $100, man. Like, man, I've been stuck in some situations where, God, I'd love $100 about now, And if you're like that, where you look at the Series S and you see the Series X, it's $200 more. You're not really missing out on much. If A, you can't afford to get a 4K TV or monitor in the first place, then you're not really looking around to be buying a Series X. So the Series S becomes immediately more apparent to you and affordable. So, look, you're really not missing much. If you get a Series S, everything plays the same. Like I said, it's all the same architecture and everything. It's going to look just as good, but it'll be on a 1080p signal, and it'll output and upscale to a 4K signal if you have a monitor for it. So I think it's a very good deal, and I have been considering it, just going in on a Series S. Really have, because of my projector situation. So, but me being me, like I immediately got my Xbox One X. I traded all my shit in and got it. And I'm doing the same thing for this. I just want the best Xbox that's out there. So I'll suck it up and find a way to do it. And with trade-in deals and all that kind of shit, I'll figure it out. I just wanted to bring this up. It's just so out of touch. This guy, as soon as he's come on, it's just been bad news, just constant fibs and lies. So hopefully you go check out our other conversation with the Let's Talk Games boys with Dan and Jamie. They have a lot of other opinions and things to say other than what I've just said. Like there's a lot more to talk about. I don't even think we barely touched on this, but thought it was worth bringing up and giving a slight plug to the other show that we do. Yeah. So look, I'll throw it out of there. I'm done talking about that. I'm so kind of way getting past all this kind of shit. I'm just glad all the console pre-orders are happening now, and we can move on and get shit happening. But we'll cross over back to some DC news before we check out some more Xbox news. So straight off the bat, we'll get this done. It's a very small article. Henry Cavill, my boy Henry. Oh, that coffee. Yes. Okay, so Henry Cavill signs a new deal apparently to return to Superman for 3 DC movies. Of course, they're going to be DC movies. Return to play as Superman is not going to be a Marvel, is it? I get it. It's the SOE. Get the DC in there. Reportedly signed a new deal for 3 films. So this is purely a rumor. Like, nothing official's come out. But his manager did share something. A piece of artwork saying Hope Never Left or something like that, of Superman flying through the sky. So that's very telling. Hopefully that means something. So yeah, I mean, yes, blah blah blah. He starred in those Superman films. Rumors were that he was leaving the role. That's a lie. He's never wants to walk away from it. He's been on record saying he'll play Superman as long as he can, as long as we'll have him, basically. But insiders apparently saying the new contract includes 3 movies and options for cameos. So that's great. To me, that reads 3 more Superman movies, or Superman movies, you know, with others, or what? Hopefully it's another trilogy or something. I want a Superman trilogy, my God. And I'm totally fine with cameos. Like, it's Superman. He should be the one that people look up to, and, you know, he should be popping in there now and then, shepherding in the new heroes and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, allegedly, I love all these words, they're protecting themselves. I've got to say, these websites are so chock full of ads, it's just disgusting. I've closed down heaps of them. Well, I understand you've got to make your money, but god damn it. Following the Justice League Snyder Cut movement, thank you very much. You're welcome. I'm glad to be a part of that. A lot of people said I was stupid. And it just rose a lot of interest back in Cavill Superman. I think that Joss Whedon cut damaged that so far. Like, I think that's half the reason why he's kind of stepped back a little bit, because of, I mean, they butchered his face. You know, that pretty, you know, gorgeous, look at him, handsome, look at him, Jesus. How do you mess that up? How do you get him as Superman in a Justice League movie and then screw it up by destroying his face? I don't know. Anyway, much respect, sir. Nothing creepy at all. But yeah, so because of all that and all the talk of the Snyder Cut, I'm just so happy about that coming to be next year, finally. And apparently, I've seen this mentioned on other sites as well, saying that Cavill himself pitched a movie treatment, or, you know, a new run of movies, or how they'll handle Superman in future films. And apparently it was very well liked and widely praised. So that's positive. He seems to very much understand the character. A lot of interviews, even back from Man of Steel days, but before that was coming out, and after the movie, and throughout Batman vs Superman and the press for Justice League, like, just all the years in between with interviews, he just gets it. I'm just going to mute my watch. People freaking messaging me while I'm trying to do this shit. How dare you, Ron, to get in contact with me? He just gets it, man. You just watch him and he just loves the character. Like, you can tell the passion for the character, the way he talks about Superman. You know, it's how I wish I was able to talk about him. You know, I get all over myself about it. That's, you know, but he just seems to know that obviously he's got PR training and stuff. That's probably what I need to do. I need to do a PR rep to run through words and sentences that I can, you know, pull out from the back ends of my mind should anyone want to ask me about Superman. But so that's great. That's really positive news. I can't wait to see what happens there. But this article in particular goes on saying, this is from express.co.uk, so it's a UK source. You know, Henry Cavill comes from there. It's not clear whether the 3 movies and it's not clear what the 3 movies and possible cameos will be. But obviously one of them is going to be a solo outing, which makes sense. I mean, Man of Steel is a masterpiece. I don't care what anyone says, and I'll say that until I die. It's just a near perfect film. I love it so much, and it's stayed with me ever since, and people still talk about it. You know, people still bloody talk about it, just like Batman vs Superman. But yeah, I hope, you know, other sources are saying that he can be difficult to work with. You know, I don't know what that means. Like, is he just passionate about his job and what he does and how he sees things going, and you know, pushing back on some other ideas? Like, I mean, that's fine. But you know, I hope he realizes that he's not Tom Cruise, and he doesn't have that kind of pull. I understand, like, even just through my working life, like, you put through ideas or opinions because you know, you try and give a shit. and sometimes they don't fly with some people. That's fine. You just walk away. You've done your bit. But being an actor, there's a director there for a job and a showrunner there for a job, and if you want the job and you want to keep it, fall in line, mate. The money is good. Just do the job, and you'll get more roles. But yeah, blah blah blah. This one just says here the future movies that are coming out, like Dwayne Johnson's Black Adam, who share the same manager. Shazam would make sense because Billy Batson and Shazam have a history with Superman. Aquaman, I don't really see Superman turning up on that one, really, to be honest. And I would love to see, I don't know. I don't want them to bring in a Supergirl. Like, it's too soon. They need to get Superman right before they start confusing things with a Supergirl. It's just my opinion. The Flash movie is going to be too chockers as it is. I don't see Superman turning up in that. So yeah, look, that's good news to me anyway. I'm very much looking forward to that. Whether it turns out to be true, I just thought it was worth talking about, being a Superman fan. Which rolls into more DC Comics news. I'm just going to roll into it right now. So DC Universe, that streaming service that was happening, that never came out to Australia. I swear part of the reason that failed is because, or I'll say failed, is because it was just so restrictive. A lot of countries couldn't get access to it. It was like America, and that was about it. And I can't be bothered dealing with all that VPN shit. So they're closing it down. Basically because all the content, all the shows and stuff are moving over to HBO Max, which is Warner Brothers' new streaming service that's released. And to start tidying up and finishing all these contracts and streaming contracts and all that kind of stuff, it just makes sense to cancel out DC Universe so they can roll it all into HBO Max. And I'm totally fine with that. It just makes sense. Would I like a purely focused DC subscription? Yes, I would, and there is one, and I didn't have access to it. So whatever happens has to happen, will happen. But on the other side now, what this is going to do is make all those shows carry over to HBO Max. They've greenlit a bunch of new ones, and extra seasons for shows. Like Harley Quinn's getting the third show, which is actually, I watched the first season recently. It's excellent. It's so funny. Young Justice is coming back for season 4. That's awesome. That's the season 3 came back because of fan uproar and demand and stuff, and and that for years. It took ages to get that show back. I just don't understand why these companies do this, man. Like, you've got a very much loved fan base on your heels, ready to have more, but you just won't. But it's good to see that they're doing it now, that they're giving us more that we want. A bunch of the other stuff that were on DC Universe, like Titans, which is, you see Dick Grayson there, is coming over to HBO Max as well. Keen to see more of that show. Season 2 was a bit slow, but the Superboy stuff was pretty neat. But on the flip side, so just think of the DC Universe live action and animation stuff. It's now HBO Max, so you split your brain that way. But the other side of the brain, the comic book stuff, it's now getting its own thing. This is something that I've wanted for the longest time. Like, Marvel has had Marvel Unlimited, which is a subscription service for digital access to their comic book catalogs, right? Where like all the new stuff comes out on this service 6 months later after publication. So you're not getting like immediate stuff, but you're getting access to everything else that you haven't read, right? So I think that's fantastic, and I can't wait for this to come out. Just scrolling past half the shit that I've already read. So here you've got the rundown of what this is. So $8 a month. That's all right. Basically, you get up to 24,000 plus comics. I mean, that's pretty extreme. I mean, there's no way you're going to read all that. And forever expanding, and there'll be like exclusive digital comics that'll launch on the service. So DC is changing the game again for themselves and the industry. I think this was a natural progression, and one that they were kind of forced into now with COVID shutting everything down, and all the publication, like diamond distribution changes and all that, like getting the actual physical comics out to people have been a problem since all the lockdowns and everything. So I think this has been one of those, they've had their hand forced, so to speak, into making these changes. Unfortunate, yeah, but I for one welcome it. Like, I don't have the room for so many comics. Trade paperbacks volumes are actually increasing in sales, which is a no-brainer because I'm a trade sitter, they call them, where there'll be, you know, monthly issues coming out of a story, but I'll wait. Like, I'll sit back and read the reviews, and when it gets catalogued in a trade paperback, which is like a book where it just has the whole saga in it, or, you know, a volume of, so I have like 4 issues in one volume or something. So if it's like a 12 issue run, like, you'll have this 4-book run that you'll pick up, right? So I like doing that because you get a chunk of the story at once. You're not waiting month to month, and these trades usually come out every 3 months. So, you know, one every quarter. It's not too bad, right? So over on my shelf over there, you know, I've got a bunch of Power Ranger ones and DC Comics and Sonic. I need to catch up on them. I think enough time has passed where I think there's 1 or 2 of them, 1 or 2 volumes per book out now. So I need to go back and catch up on that. Basically, I just read Justice League and the Power Ranger book, and I haven't read the Sonic books yet, but apparently it's good. But I just like having them backed up so I can just keep reading them if I like it. Excuse me. But this, I'm very excited for this. You know, there's other books that I'd be interested in reading that, you know, for characters that I don't really want to pay money for, you know, or budget wise, like I don't have the money to be spending on, you know, 6 or 10 books a month, you know, particularly when they're upwards to $8 or $10 here in Australia per issue. So you're looking at, you know, say 10 issues a month. It's like $80 a month, you know, just for paper to be lying around your house, right? So the whole trade paperback thing, yeah, I just complained about I don't want my house full of, or my apartment, I should say, full of books and paper, but, you know, comics laying around to lug around the country whenever I move. But if you just buy a run of trade paperbacks, like of a particular story that you like, you know, you're minimizing your content there. But with a digital offer like this, you can read everything else. You know, if you don't mind waiting 6 months down the road, but by then you'll have access to the whole story, right? Or at least 6 issues of it. So I think this is very good and it makes sense. And if you read them digitally and you want to keep them, or, you know, you really want to support that creator, or you want to support that character, or you want to see more of it, you're probably more incentivized to buy the book physically, you know, like I do. That's what I do. So I can't wait for this. I don't really have any news or any. I don't think they've got any details of like how many countries this is going to be available to. But I recently got back into my Comixology account because I felt like maybe I'll start reading some comics again. But I mean, this, you know, I'll put my money over to DC Universe Infinite rather than Comixology because I just really want to read DC stuff. That's my thing. But yeah, I think this is great. I mean, Marvel has had this for years, you know, and I've always said for ages that I don't know why DC don't have something like this. It just makes so much sense, you know. Everybody's, you know, stuck at home and, you know, they're on their phones or on their tablets or on their computer. You know, you're looking for content to read or content to watch. You know, why not give them a digital subscription service and they can just sit there and read your books? You know, use your service and keep ticking that subscription over. Yeah, I just don't. DC do a lot of things I just don't understand, and I know they're all tied up in like Warner Media and Warner Brothers and AT&T now, so there's a lot of people up the chain. But it looks like they're getting all their ducks in a row since this merger is going on. I haven't seen much to be concerned about yet. I mean, we're getting the Snyder Cut for God's sake, so I'll give them that. I'll give them a bit of slack. But yeah, I won't spend too much time talking about that. It was just very, very interesting to me and very exciting to me. So, like the subscription model for everything has become the normal way to go, which that does concern me slightly. You know, not gonna lie. I don't want everything to be a subscription because then you end up paying so much money every month. Like just the Xbox stuff, the all access, Xbox All Access. You can get a new a Series X and a Series X, you can get a 1S, and you used to be able to get a 1X on the service as well. But for $30 or $40 a month, you can get a new console. That's great. And you just pay it off over 24 months. It comes with Game Pass. Such a good deal, and I'm literally thinking about doing that to get my Series X, rather than dropping down the $200 pre-order. So I'll think about it. It's just in my mind, like, do I want to? The trade-in deal that I'm getting from EB, before I move on to my next topic, the trade-in deal that I'm doing for EB Games, the pre-order is $200, whereas the PS5 is $50, which I don't understand. I wonder if that came down from Microsoft. I don't know. I don't understand the difference between why one was able to be pre-ordered for less. That boggles me. I haven't seen anything online as to why that is. Anyway, it is what it is. So in my mind, it's like, all right, I'll drop $200 down. And then this trade order bonus from EB, if I trade in my Xbox One X, I'll get it for $399. But because I'm a level 4 member, I'll get it for $329 instead. And I've already paid the $200. So at launch, it'll cost me $120 something, in November, day one. So I'm looking at doing that and just sucking it up this month, with the $200 less in my pocket. Rather than the next 24 months, as of November onwards, for 24 months, paying $45 out of my pocket every month for 24 months. Do I just suck it up now and make it happen and pay very little in the long run, very, very little in the long run, or end up paying, upwards of 800 odd at the end of the 24 months, because you include the console price and the Game Pass price on that subscription. So very first world problem scenario there, but it is a problem that I'm facing because it's on Tuesdays. It's like less than 2 days away that I've got to get this pre-order done. So I'm thinking about it. So yeah, look, there's a game that's finally coming out to Xbox that I want to just bring up right now. And that is Gears Tactics. It's been on PC for a while, like since April, but now it's finally coming to Xbox. It's going to be a launch title for next gen. So they had this little announcement trailer that I'd like to watch.
Just like we planned it.
I don't usually play this style of game, but it's Gears. I have to. And just full screen that shit. Well, that full screen barely worked.
Join the party.
So it's like XCOM, real-time strategies thing.
Well, if you insist.
If there was any game that was going to get me to play that type of gameplay, it was going to be Gears of War. It looks great. Being optimized for Series S and X. Apparently it plays better than it does on PC, so I'm reading. It's on Xbox One as well. Yeah, look, very, very, very excited to play that. If we get a nice little screen here. Where's the little screeny? Yeah, we'll just keep it there. Right, so yeah, Gears Tactics. I don't know if any of you that'll watch this plays Gears of War, let alone Gears Tactics, but yeah, I've been hanging out for this, and it's actually getting a physical release as well. Thankfully, I've been trying to ask people on Twitter that for a week. Like, is it getting a physical release? Is it getting a physical release? And apparently it is. So I'm very excited for that. It will go straight on the shelf with the rest of my Gears of War stuff. But it's coming to Game Pass as well, which is just amazing. So I'll have it day one regardless whether I pick it up. I will pick it up, but through Game Pass subscription I'll have it. So very keen to play it. I've been hankering for another Gears game, and yeah, like I said, this one franchise, Gears of War, it's just speaks to me like no other game does, you know. And the more kind of different game types that they're willing to take a chance on, I'm down for. I really wish they would do like a Diablo style Gears of War, you know. I'd play the hell out of that. Like Darksiders just came out with one that I really want to get into playing. It's on my backlog. Can't remember what it's called. Darksiders Genesis, I think it is. And yeah, like that kind of game in Gears of War, I think would lend very well to it. Like the cover-based stuff, and you're walking around as a squad and shit. Yeah, so that's come out, and they've also shown this little Gears of War controller bundle. Oh, look at that, man! Like, it's just sexy. It's just sexy, right? Like, even the box itself is just, oh my god. But the controller, it comes with the charging dock there that it sits on. Like, with this whole xCloud thing coming out, game cloud streaming for Xbox, or whatever they're calling it now, I was saying to the boys that these limited edition controllers, you can think of them now as limited edition consoles, like the alternative of. You get one of those clips for your controller to put your phone in, and you play Game Pass on that. So you're streaming the game to your phone, and you've got this little, custom little thing happening there. Like, it just occurred to me the other day when I was looking at these controllers. There's a Star Wars one coming out as well, and yeah, it's another way to think about it. A little console, like, limited thing in your hand with your phone on it. I don't know. I just think that's cool. Like, these Xbox do the best custom controllers, man. These limited edition things are just so good. I don't know if I can afford this, but I saw a link to it somewhere. Like, you got to buy it through this controller gear shop, and it looked expensive, like $160 something. I want it, but I don't want it that bad. You know, my life in my world can't justify that, as well as throwing down for a Series X. So, alas, I'll probably have to move from that. So yeah, I don't know. What do you think about that? Are you a fan of these limited edition controllers and all the fancy whiz-bangeries and stuff? Like, I know PlayStation don't do a lot of them, but when they do, they're not really good. Not to sound biased or anything, but they're just not. They kind of pale in comparison. But look, let's just end on one more quick bit of Xbox fun little fluffiness. Me and Window, here we are. So, Xbox have created a portion on their website where you can download PDF files of the Series X and Series S. So, it's like a papercraft project. So, you can print them out and get the sizing right at full scale or 1/3 scale. Like 1/3 scale, you can print them out on good card and make a little model of it. I mean, I'd be so keen on doing that, just having this little third of the size model on my desk made in some good card. I don't have a printer, but I would take it to a print house, you know, and go, oh, can I get this on like 300 GSM or something, you know, make it worthwhile. And or 330 maybe on matte finish. That'd be sexy. But yeah, look, you can get these PDF files. Use the Series X one. This is the full scale one. It even tells you like all the cut on the dashed lines where it's perforated and stuff, where the crease lines are. So this is full scale. So you can print it out and put it in your setup to see if it fits. I mean, people might scoff at that, but I think that's genius. You know, this whole conversation is going around about, oh, you know, how are these even going to fit in our setups? Rah, rah, rah. And so they've provided you a solution where you can go and print out either a full scale or third scale version of the console and just go at it, right? I think that's so good. If I had a printer that was capable of printing out such a big bit of card or something, I would totally do that, you know, make a bit of a project out of it. I just thought that was worth talking about because I laughed, man. I saw that come up on my feed and I was like, no way, that's so cool, you know. Bit of something else to do during isolation as well. I don't know. What do you think about that? I think that's pretty neat. I mean, if you really wanted to go far away with it, you can cut out the little Xbox button logo and put an LED in there, and cut out all these holes on top of the fan and put an green LED in there and make it, make a bit of a shelf piece. Like, I could see putting one of those on my shelf with the LEDs in it, with the green glow coming out from the top. Oh my god, I want to do that so badly now. Now that I'm just brainstorming it. Oh shit. Yeah, awesome. I love that, those kind of moments. So yeah, look, I'll end it there. That's a few things I really wanted to talk about. The Mario Odyssey. I've got to buy that again. Since I bought my Switch, man, I've got the 3D Mario All Stars, Super Mario 3D All Stars. I started a new island on Animal Crossing. I just felt compelled. I need that game back in my life. And I'm going to pick up these Mario games, man. This is my third Switch, and I keep coming back, man, because I just need Mario in my life. There's something about Mario, where I was playing this 3D All Stars, and I haven't played a Mario game since I finished Mario Odyssey, and sold my console and everything with it ages ago. There's something about Mario that's just special. Like, it's just there's nothing to it. Like, there's no agenda in it. It doesn't ask too much of you. It's just a nice, fun platformer, beautiful music, fun, bright. It doesn't take itself seriously, but it's not a piss take, and it's just, there's something about Mario. It's like Sonic. I wish I'm not going to go on a rant about modern Sonic needs a lot of work. Yeah, before I feel like that about Sonic again. Old Sonic is just still the best in my opinion. But Mario, I keep coming back to these Nintendo machines, and the Switch has been the best for kind of bringing out these old Mario games again. I have an issue with the Super Nintendo Mario All-Stars being locked behind Nintendo Online. I disagree with that strongly. I think that should be its own release as well. Everybody should have access to that. It shouldn't be locked on a digital store. That you need a subscription to play. You can't buy it. You need a subscription to play. So you need to keep paying if you want to play it. Anyway, I know there's a multitude of ways you can emulate that elsewhere, but it's not besides the point. It's the principle of the matter, damn it. If I can get this goddamn 3D All-Stars with 3 modern Mario games on it, you should be able to let me buy Super Nintendo Mario All-Stars, goddamn it. Anyway, so yeah, I'm all about the Switch again. I've got the big one. I don't have the Lite anymore. I bought a 2019 refresh, new in the box, and God, it's just, when I opened it and set it up, it's just so good. Like, I forgot how good Switch was, man. I just totally forgot about it. I think I took it for granted the first couple times around, but coming back to it, particularly with Mario 64 in hand and playing it on my projector, playing Mario on a 100-inch kind of project screen, it's really something. It really is. Even playing it here on stream the other night on a 4K display, it just looked great. And this thing's only outputting a 1080p signal when it's docked. And it still looked good. So what did you think about the game? Like, how it's just essentially emulation or ROMs on a cart, gone out for sale, very lacking in content and packaging for an anniversary edition for their flagship character. All that aside, which are legit criticisms, all that aside, there's still 3 great games that have never looked that good. So I don't regret it. I got the Switch, I've told this story online, but I got my new Switch for $1.55. So it wasn't much of a burden to me to buy one. So I got the Switch and a Pro Controller, which is awesome, by the way. I was on the fence about it at the start, but man, it feels so good. It's such a solid controller. It's not as good as an Xbox controller, but but it's almost up there. So yeah, I had a gift card that had $567 on it when I traded in my Switch Lite and PS4, and it was just burning a hole in my pocket. I couldn't pre-order the Series X with it. Unfortunately, you can't pre-order with gift cards. Mightily disappointed about that. So it was literally just sitting there doing nothing. So I checked my local store and they had one left. It's like, all right, stuff it. And the Pro Controller on top, topped it over to $1.55 out of my pocket. So easy done. And then I picked up All Stars, and I've still got my digital library there, and I've still got my copy of Smash Bros and my save game in the cloud and all that. So it's just good to have that back. So I live that Xbox Series Switch life. I'm just coining that term. Xbox Series Switch, how we used to do it in the Xbox Wii 60, back in the day. Yeah, cool. Anyway, 45 minutes. I think it's a good time to wrap it up. Like I said at the start, thank you very much for your time. I do appreciate it. It's not lost to me. I know time is precious and there's a lot of content to watch. And if you spend, a few minutes watching me, it's very much appreciated. So, if you do enjoy my stuff and just me yabbering on and my speed drawings and whatever else I do, feel free to like and subscribe and, share it around and shit. I hate asking people to do that stuff, but I don't do this stuff enough, but I do like to keep it up when life isn't throwing stuff at me. So, yeah, it's good to be back. Like I said, check the link below for Let's Talk Games. Really want to see to get some people over there to start growing that channel. Me and the guys, you know, we do a good job over there. We've been consistent for 28 weeks now, and you know, it's been a lot of fun. It was just an excuse to talk about games together, you know. But if we can get something happening over there with it, all the best, all the better for it. So, you know, throw that around, go have a look. A new episode went up tonight, just like this one. And I'll see you around the traps. Go watch me yabber on over there at 6:30 in the morning when I've just had a fresh cup of coffee. Anyway, look after yourselves. Touch someone you love. And, you know, I don't know where to go with that.
Like, comment, subscribe.